All right. Oof, shoo, shoo, shoo. All right. Wake up here. Wake up here. Hey, everybody. It is the Buffalo Community Podcast for episode 117. A few weeks ago that we invited everybody to be a little bit more a part of it and engaging by calling our Google voice line is 612-405-7993. And we have been, people are sending them. One of our previous guests was actually a suggestion from one of you, the viewers. And so we want to play some of these voicemails, or one of the voicemails today, to talk about what you guys want to talk about. So right before we get started, let's play it, and then we're going to kind of just dive right in. So we want to thank Michael for sending this in. I don't think he gave us a last name, but thank you for sending this in. Oh, let's work it.
Hey, this is Michael. Currently live in town. I've been here my whole life. I don't know. Are you guys interested in ghosts? You know, any paranormal or like creepy stuff? I don't know. I would love to hear if there's any places around here that people have experiences with or anything like that. You know, I don't know. I like to kind of think about that stuff being a possibility, you know, so I don't know.
Well, Michael, thank you for sending that in, and it was definitely an interesting, kind of not even on my radar topic to talk about, but so when he's asking about ghosts and everything, so that voicemail actually came in at 2:10 a.m. So I don't know if, Michael, you were scared or anything like that, but you don't have to be. So what do you guys think about that?
I don't mess with it.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Definitely something that you don't think of like often, but you know, from time to time it comes up, and then all of a sudden you're thinking, oh, maybe.
Sure. Well, I actually have a ghost story that I would like to share. It's more of a ghost experience. You know, I'll probably cry in the middle of it, or at least get goosebumps. But it all kind of started. It was somebody who brought out like 101 most haunted places in Minnesota, and actually Buffalo is on one of that, or places, and it involves Sturgis Park, and right outside in Winstead or Waverly, forget which one, but it was also called Hannah's Grave. So those were two things that my brother and I were kind of interested in, like, let's go check it out. So Sturgis Park, obviously, everybody knows where that is, downtown Buffalo. But this Hannah's Grave, we're like, let's go find this. And it was apparently family's dead. You know, Hannah haunts the old farmstead. There's a windmill that would be, you know, that would spin even though there's no wind. So just some paranormal activity there. So again, take it for whatever you want, but I'm just going to share my experience. So we go, my brother Tony and I, we go out there. We're going to visit and find this old farmstead, you know, from, 150, 200 years ago, whatever it was. And we are out there in the middle of the day. This is probably 2 o'clock in the afternoon, summertime, and we can't find anything. We're driving around, dirt roads, everything. This is kind of where they said it might be. And, is that an old, windmill over there? Or is it just our eyes playing tricks on us or whatever? And my mom was at that this time, and she actually she was getting freaked out, and nothing was happening, but she was just like, the whole premise of it was scary. So we go back and we drop her off, but like Tony and I look at each other, we're like, hey, let's go back there. Sun's going down, it's about right 9:45. We're like, let's go. It's dark, up for a little bit of a scare. So we're riding along, and we get to Winstead. It's about 10 o'clock or something. In the summertime, it's getting dark at that point, driving around, trying to find this place. And we're on the phone with his girlfriend at the time. And where we thought this old farmstead used to be, all of a sudden, radio's on a little bit, but, his girlfriend's on speakerphone. All of a sudden, radio starts to crackle, kind of like losing some reception. Again, it's dark. I'm going to get some goosebumps here. And then all of a sudden, phone goes out, lose connection. Well, probably don't realize that you're in the middle of the country 20 years ago. But it happened at the place where we thought this old farmstead was. And you know how in the summer times when you kind of go down on a gravel road, and it's kind of stuck down into a swamp where like it's fog. I mean that's happening at this
Yeah.
time. So it's like kind
Like
of
a movie scene.
It's painting the picture of some really creepy vibes, and then for the radio to start crackling and going out, and then to lose reception. I mean, it just kind of, oh man, that's kind of scary when like that happens, and he just hightails it out of there, and we race back because like ain't nobody got time for that. So that wasn't even kind of like I mean, we're pretty jazzed up at that time, and then we're like, well, let's go check out Sturgis Park. So Sturgis Park, apparently, it was the haunted bathrooms. That was kind of where the carnival used to be, or carnival is, but the bathrooms aren't there anymore. And the report was that it would be like some floating orbs, or the lights would flicker, or, there was some reports, oh, there's blood on the walls. Well, why are you going into the bathroom at midnight? But anyway, so we're like, well, let's go check it out. We're going, and if you're familiar with the town, there's that Montrose Boulevard and Lake Boulevard right there's three-way stop, and there is a park bench right there on the corner. Again, this is probably at 11:45ish at night, and I was driving at the time, and I take a right, and I kind of like saw someone sitting there. I thought, well, that was weird. It's 11:45. What's that guy doing? So we go down into the parking lot, and we're sitting on the phone again with his girlfriend. And we're like, nothing's happening. But at the stroke of midnight, all of a sudden, like, how when, like, you move, like, a light source around something and, like, the shadows start moving? That's happening inside the bathroom. Like, it's, like, moving around like, oh, something's there. I mean, like, it's like, really, really creepy. And we're just like, no way. That starts happening. We're telling the story, and all of a sudden, phone goes out, radio goes out. And all of a sudden, when those lights start like moving in the bathroom, I'm freaked out. Again, I turn my headlights on, put it in drive, and I'm driving up. And
Dates
all of a
yourself
sudden,
a little bit.
yeah, I'm driving up, and all of a sudden, this figure that was, or I'm assuming it was a figure from the bench, now all of a sudden standing on the side of the road, kind of like looking at us as we're driving by. And the only way I can describe it is Old Man Sturgis. That used to be that wooden figurine on
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
yeah,
It
yeah,
hasn't been there for ever.
Right.
Somebody stole it or whatever. But oh my goodness, we hightailed it out of there, and you saw that, which even is exasperating. The fact that we're scared,
Oh, right.
crapless here. So we're running home, and all of a sudden it's like, Mom and Dad, we're on our way home. Like, man, we were so just jacked up, and we go home again, just dying to tell this story to my mom and dad. And we run back there. They were on the family computer at the time, and bust into the room. Mom, Dad, telling this story. And little did I know, my mom had hid in the closet right behind me and goes, bah! And like, I didn't like fall to hit the ground. My feet came up, and then I hit the ground. Absolutely terrified. Thought I was going to die of a heart attack at 18 years old. But so when we talk about some like paranormal stuff, it'll definitely give me the heebie-jeebies, on whether they can hurt you or anything like that. I don't know. I don't like scary movies, that's for sure. If I see a scary movie, it's got to be in the daylight, and I have to see a funny one after that.
Yeah.
But that's my ghost story, is something even a little bit local.
Right.
So I don't know.
I can only tell you, I
do you think
have
that
no
means?
personal experience. Just
Sure.
hearing the things about, Thayer and Annandale,
Yeah.
Sturgis Park. I hadn't heard of this. I had heard your story before about the Waverly, the Hannah's Grave or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So there's stuff on Google for that. I Googled that and read up on that, but I can't. You're much braver than me
Oh, yeah.
to go
But
check that stuff out.
I don't know anything other than the Thayer Hotel right there on Highway 55, other than it's supposedly haunted.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I know about it. But I'm not going to stay there. That's
No.
for sure.
I won't sleep.
No, goodness no.
Yeah.
The pillows suck.
Yeah. How about up in the Crookston area, Luke? Anything up in your stomping grounds of rumors or?
Nothing that like I ever investigated, but these days, if I ever am looking to not sleep or to give myself a little bit of a scare, you can look up these videos about these old insane asylums that are abandoned, and people will go on they'll stay the night there. And that to me is just terrifying. No idea why, but every once in a while, I'm like, this, the curiosity gets the best of me, and I kind of want to check it out. And I usually don't last the whole video. I'm like, I'm fine. Probably nothing happens, and then I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't have any personal interaction with anything ghost wise, and I don't even know, if ghosts is something I necessarily believe in, but anything that has to do with demons, I'm out. Anything that has to do with demonic possession or anything like that, I'm like, I'll go check something else out. I don't need to be around that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how people can see those movies. Like when they make full movies, I'm not a supporter of that at all. It's too scary and why? Why?
Why is it more comforting to watch a slasher or something where it's some real person that's chasing you with a knife? That's way more comforting than watching something that's
Jim
ghosts and demons, things that
Right.
you don't know about. I guess it's the unknown.
Yeah.
Which is always scary. So I've told that story multiple times before, and right, Mr. McCallum.
Mm-hmm.
So someone told me, which I don't believe. Again, Mr. McCallum, if you're listening, I'd like you to verify this or not. I also heard that story was planted about Hannah's grave, which I don't know how, because it goes back a long time. He was trying to get somebody to, or maybe it was a Sturgis Park one. I don't know.
Well,
but it's made it into publications is what it is. So as a part of kind of just getting inside the...
I too have heard that.
Yeah.
The Sturgis Park.
Well, I tell you what, it was true that night. So anyway. I guess we don't have too much more to talk about on that topic.
Other than thanks for
Yeah.
participating and chiming in and, gives us a little bit of a idea of what can we kill 10, 15 minutes with? And
it's definitely interesting.
yeah,
So
without question.
Michael, thank you. And once our T-shirts come in, we'll get you set up with a T-shirt. And we don't have T-shirts. But if you want to be a part of the Buffalo Community Podcast by suggesting a guest or a topic or anything like that, even if it's a topic we don't want to talk about, we may deflect very professionally of we're not going to talk about that because that was part of our plan.
Yeah.
But we'd love to hear about it, and we'll play your voicemail for the rest of the Buffalo community to listen to. And then we'll answer it and talk about it. We love engaging with people. We love that when people say, "Oh, hey, I saw you on the podcast. Really loved, so and so's episode," and we just love hearing that and love the engagement that the community's been giving us. But if you want to do that, that phone number is 612-405-7993. It will go straight to a voicemail, so you can call it at any time, and then we'll get that relayed to us. Again, that's 612-405-7993.
Beautiful.
For the Buffalo Community Podcast, I'm Tyler Reese.
I'm Mark Benzer.
Luke Edlin.